Take questions.
Don't have much to say. I'm happy for our team. We had a lot of unfortunate things kind of happen around our UCF football family this week, and I thought everybody did a good job of staying focused while realizing that football isn't the most important thing in life. Faith and family are, and I thought everybody did a good job working through those things in the bye week and showing up ready to play.
Coach, you dominated for the first quarter, but how big was that touchdown at the end of the first half, that 83-yard drive? Because you knew North Carolina was going to get the ball to start the second half. How big was that to give you a little bit of a cushion?
It was really big. It made it a whole different game to be able to score there. First of all, holding them to a field goal on the other side, and then using timeouts. And thought Taven had an excellent drive on that. He took what they gave him. They busted a coverage at the end that gave us a touchdown. But we got the benefit of a couple penalties there too. But it's like I got 3 young kids, right? And sometimes they amaze me with what they can do, and other times I'm like, what the heck are you doing? And we're growing as a team. That's what I feel like. There's a lot of really good with the 2-minute drive and the way we started the game, and there's still some things that make me scratch my head. But that's comforting in a way because we can keep getting better.
Scott, what do you think you guys learned today, getting the win and beating a team like North Carolina?
Learning that we've come a long way, but we have a long way to go. That's what I want our team to take away, and I think they will. We're a lot better team than we were against Jacksonville State, but we're going to have to be a better team than what we were tonight to go to Manhattan and win. And I think it's just going to get tougher from there. So we got to keep pushing forward and rising and conquering.
Coach, on Monday you mentioned how intelligent you found Bill Belichick to had the extra week leading up to prepare. How much do you think that helped you get the result that you did leading into this game?
I don't know. Our offensive staff did a great job. Steve Cooper and I want to say a lot about Alex Bear taking over for Coach Clark and keeping the O-lineman going. We got in the game and it was a little different than what we expected, which is kind of what we expected. He's as smart a guy as there is, and Steve's smart too. And it was just little things here and there. Every time we got in condensed sets, they were really coming after us, and we kind of got lucky on a couple and got the ball outside it. But when we thought it was man, sometimes they had eyes inside and cost us a couple plays where they got us. So I a ton of respect for Bill and North Carolina, and they're starting fresh like we were. So I know they'll keep getting better, and he's the right guy for that.
Coach, other side of the ball, defensively, created a couple of turnovers, kept pressure on the quarterback all night long. What did you like most about your defense's pressure tonight? I
really liked the intensity our defense came out with to start the game. Good thing on that side of the ball, we got a lot of guys that can make game-changing plays and impact the game. Want to highlight, as good as the pass rush was, Lewis Carter had a heck of a game coming back off suspension. I think 10 tackles and 2 TFLs and a sack. But that he's one of many. I think played well on defense. We can't jump off sides on third downs and hard counts anymore. We can't play as well as we played and then go out and lose our intensity for a drive. Kind of felt like on the one drive we might have. But overall, I can't say enough about the job Coach Grinch did and has done. He's got a chip on his shoulder like I do, and he wants to be great. And I think you're starting to see what he can do with the defense. But again, we've kind of done what we should do to this point, and the challenges are going to get tougher.
Coach, talk about your quarterback play. Taven played a good game, turnover-free, kind of took what the defense gave him. Just kind of overview of how he played today.
Taven made some plays that a lot of people might not notice, with blitzes coming off edges and hanging on the ball and throwing it over their head and seeing some things that maybe weren't first on his progression and getting the ball to him. He made some really good quarterback plays today. That being said, we got some good players, and Jakari, when he goes in there, is a spark plug for us, and we got to keep finding the right formula every week. But I'm really impressed and happy with the progress that Taven's made, and he can be a great player if he stays on that path.
Scott, two-part question about the tight ends. First, the status of Dylan Wade after the injury in the third quarter. And secondly, the way you guys are using multiple players at that position throughout the course of the game between him, Kylan, and then for the first time today, Caden Keenan.
Yeah, compliment our recruiting guys, Jeff Love and others that did a good job getting us some talent. Dylan's going to be all right. He had a little bid of a separated shoulder, so he's going to be fine. But we held him, and mostly we held him because we trust Caden and Kylan and Wadsworth and Max Strang. And we got a little bit of depth there, so we don't have to completely change what we're doing if somebody gets nicked up.
Coach, does it mean any more to be a coach like Coach Belichick?
Yeah, I think it does to me personally, and that's no knock on him. That's respect to him for everything he's accomplished. But, he was my position coach and coordinator for 2 years, my first 2 years in the NFL. I know how smart he is and how good a coach he is. This isn't all on him. When you take over a new program in college right now, I did it too. It just takes a while to get the team together, and I feel like we got a little head start on it, getting here a little earlier and maybe getting involved in the portal earlier. It means a lot to me to win for these guys, but I got so much respect and admiration for Coach Belichick, and he's going to get them going. There's just no question.
Also, I know it's a tough subject, but did you talk to your team at all today about Coach Clark and being with you guys?
Yeah, we feel like honesty is the best policy, and we've had open dialogue about what's going on with Coach Clark really for a week and a half. So we'll keep updating the guys while at the same time respecting the privacy of his wife and kids.
Coach, Taven Jackson showed quite a bit of misdirection during the game. Is that something that's kind of a new wrinkle to his game, or is that something you've been seeing in practice?
Somewhat. Sorry.
He's been showing misdirection, on especially his touchdown run. Is that something that is a new wrinkle to his game, or something that you've been seeing in practice?
No, Taven can run. It's funny when you have a guy like Jakari, sometimes he thinks he needs to throw it because he's such a good runner and he needs to prove he can throw it, and Taven thinks he needs to run it to prove he can run it because he throws it really good. And I just want those guys to be them, and if we have plays for Jakari going forward, we want Taven to be able to run them, and whatever Taven's running, we want Jakari to be able to run, and Cam. And I really like all three of those kids, and you can see why we were impressed with all three in camp.
Scott, just with so many new players and a new coaching staff and the way the season started, to have this performance against that type of opponent as you head into conference play, what can this do for this group that's still trying to climb the mountain?
Well, momentum's a powerful thing, but like I said, I don't want our kids to think we've done anything. We haven't done anything yet. We kind of started the way we probably should have started, with the hands that were dealt to us, and it's going to get a lot harder from here. I coached in Manhattan, Kansas, my first coaching job. I know what kind of environment that is. Coached with Coach Kleiman, I know what kind of coach he is. They have a bye week now, and that's going to be a huge challenge. And we got to keep getting better if we're going to have a chance to win up there. So this is just the start.
And just afternoon game at the bounce house, finally didn't have to deal with weather, national TV, just that experience. I mean, was this kind of what you were looking forward to when you came back?
Yeah, it is. I just have fun coaching here. There's pressure like anywhere else, but it's not the same, and it allows me to be better because I can just be free to care about the kids and try to put them in the best position to be successful. And I thank Terry and everybody else for moving me back here. It's a lot of fun.
Scott, as a coach, how does it make you feel to finish off a game with a 19-play drive, takes over 10 minutes, kind of puts the game away out of hand at the end? What does that, as a coach, how does that make you feel? Does that bring a smile to your face to think about being that efficient, being able to put the game away when you need to do?
Yeah, going back to my reference about my kids, the 2-minute drive was awesome, and that last drive was awesome, even, buckling down and getting a fourth down. And they had some big players now, so for us to be able to sustain it on the ground for a long drive at the end speaks to us getting better at execution. There's some other drives, we look like a three-ring circus out there dropping balls and putting our knee down on things, and we can still get better, I guess is my point. But I think the offensive line really played with some passion today, a lot because of they love Coach Clark like I do, and they wanted to fight for him, and I think that was a great way to finish off the game for those guys, and an unbelievable job sustaining that drive.
Coach, can you talk about the intensity you guys came out with, particularly like in the first quarter? What goes into that? How pleased are you with it?
The guys were just ready to play. Assistant coaches did a great job getting them ready, and the guys were ready. We've had 2 broken warm-ups, weird warm-ups for the first 2 games. This was kind of normal, or what will become normal, and I don't know what led to the hot start for sure, but we need to try to duplicate it.
Back on Shakuri, what do you most like about what he brings to your offense?
Well, first and foremost, I can't say enough about him as a human being. Jakari is just awesome to have in our program. He's a leader. If he has to take a bunch of plays for us, I'm gonna feel great about it. And if he can keep providing us a spark, we're gonna keep finding ways to let him do that.
A few more.
Coach, you talked about the chip on your shoulder. You've been talking about the chip that your team has. Can you tell that there's an edge to this thing?
Yeah, this is only my 3rd season coaching at UCF, but I've been around Coach Beckton a lot and Travis Fisher a lot, and that kind of seems like the MO for UCF, going a long way back. That little disrespected, we're not Central Florida, we're UCF. People picking us last, not having any confidence in several people on the coaching staff, and like I said, we haven't done anything yet, but I think it fits with what UCF has been for a long time if we play with a little chip.
Robbie Moore got to be one of the captains today. I know he played for North Carolina all the way through spring, 2-part. What's he meant to the rotation as far as since joining your program, and what was his reaction once he found out that he was going to be in that role today?
You don't get a lot of emotion out of Rodney most of the time. He's a pretty steady guy. I love him. He's been an important piece for us, and it's really been a 4-man rotation inside with Horace and RJ and him and John. And if we can keep those guys healthy and they keep getting better, they can be a real force for us.
Last one.
Keeping with edge and the big guys in the middle on defense, they were able to get a push in the middle early on. North Carolina started booting, running to the outside. How do you feel about how the defense adjusted to make sure that they kept a few points off the board throughout the game?
Yeah, most of football comes down to if you can win the trenches or not, and we're going to get challenged with that in the Big Ten, as good as offensive and defensive lines are in the Big Ten. But I feel like we probably won that battle tonight.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.